The alarm was not supposed to trigger in dead space. Yet every warning panel on the bridge ignited red at once. Commander Ralvek froze mid-breath as the sensor board screamed across the command deck. The research vessel silent orbit drifted powerless between star systems. Engines dead, reactors cracked, heat fading by the minute. Impossible, whispered Navigation Officer Trell. There is nothing here to detect us. Ralvek didn't answer. His eyes stayed locked on the blinking distress beacon indicator. Active broadcasting, max range. Someone had triggered it. Who authorized the beacon? He demanded. No one spoke. The crew were scholars, surveyors, astrophysicists, not survivors. Their species did not send emergency signals lightly. In this sector, distress calls were invitations to predators. Finally, Systems Officer Yaren raised a trembling hand. I did, Commander. Life support dropped below survival curve. I chose probability over fear. Probability over fear. A noble phrase, and possibly a death sentence. Outside the forward observation glass, space stretched black and empty. No stars close enough to warm them. No trade lanes. No patrol routes. Only debris fields and ghost signals from ships that never returned. How long? Ralvek asked quietly. 39 hours of breathable air, Yaren replied. Less if temperature continues to drop. Frost already traced the edges of the display consoles. The ship had suffered a catastrophic drive rupture, a rare chain reaction inside their propulsion lattice. 3 decks vented. Primary and backup cores gone. They were now a coffin with antennas. Trell swallowed hard. Commander, this region is flagged in historical warnings. Yes, Ralvek said. Raid corridors. No one needed clarification. Raider clans hunted distress beacons. Disabled ships meant easy captures. Intelligent species meant profitable slaves. The bridge lights dimmed another level to conserve power. Signal strength? Ralvek asked. Maximum burst every 6 minutes, said Yaren. If anyone is within 15 light hours, they will hear us. If, Trell repeated weakly. Silence followed, broken only by the slow ticking of thermal contraction through the hull. Then the sensor board chirped. Soft, short, easy to miss. But not missed. Yaren leaned forward. Commander! Something just shifted in subspace. Every head turned. Natural? Ralvek asked. No. Say it clearly. Signature shows controlled exit vector. A ship. Someone had dropped out of faster-than-light travel, close enough to detect the beacon. The bridge temperature seemed to fall another degree. Distance, Ralvek ordered. 8 million kilometers. Closing. Type. Reading hull mass. Yaren stopped speaking. Officer, report. Her voice came out thinner. That is not a civilian displacement curve. Trell's throat clicked. Military? Beyond military. The silhouette formed on the forward screen. First a distortion, then shape, then scale. It kept growing and growing. Oh no, someone whispered. The vessel was enormous. Armored spine, layered plating, weapon ridges. Shield emitters the size of their entire engine ring. Not sleek like patrol craft. Not bulky like carriers. Purpose-built combat architecture. Predatory. Origin. Ralvek asked. Scanning ran 3 times. Answer unchanged. Human. No one moved. No one breathed. The word carried weight across the galaxy. Humans, the late arrivals. Fast builders. Faster fighters. Their warships didn't posture. They ended conflicts. Some called them guardians. Some called them conquerors. Everyone agreed on one fact. When human warships arrived, something important was about to happen. They have locked our beacon, Yaren said. Are weapons charging? Ralvek asked. Negative. Shields. Down. That made no sense. Warships did not approach unknown vessels with shields lowered. A transmission request flashed. Incoming hail. Encrypted. Priority rescue band. Rescue band? Display, Ralvek ordered. The screen shifted. A human command deck appeared, busy, efficient, controlled. No panic. No chaos. Officers move with disciplined rhythm. At center seat sat a human commander, dark uniform, steady eyes, posture relaxed but alert. She spoke first. "Disabled vessel. This is Human Defense Ship, Resolute Dawn. We received your emergency beacon. Report your life support status. No threats. No demands. Just concern." Ralvek blinked twice. "This is Commander Ralvek of the research vessel Silent Orbit. We are surprised you answered." The human commander tilted her head slightly. "You asked for help." "Yes," he said carefully. "But you are human military." "Correct. And you came anyway." A small pause, not confusion, more like processing a strange question. "Of course we did," she said. Bridge crew exchanged looks. He forced himself to continue. "Our engines are destroyed. Core failure. We cannot maneuver." "Understood," she replied instantly. "We are adjusting approach for power transfer and thermal stabilization. No negotiation. No price. Just action." Ralvek narrowed his eyes. "What do you require in exchange?" The human commander actually frowned. "Exchange? For assistance? Nothing. That is not logical." Her expression softened slightly. "Commander, people in danger are not a trade opportunity. They're a responsibility." Before he could respond, her tactical officer spoke off-screen. "Commander, multiple fast signatures entering system. Radar drive patterns." The human commander's gaze hardened like forged metal. "How long?" she asked. 70 minutes. She looked back at Ralvek. "Good news," she said calmly. "We got here first." Bridge lights aboard the human warship shifted from white to red, battle readiness. And for the first time since the disaster, Ralvek felt something unfamiliar, not fear, relief. Commander Ralvek expected the human warship to pull away the moment the radar's signatures appeared. Instead, the massive vessel rotated, deliberately, placing its armor hull between the silent orbit and the incoming threat vectors, a shield without being asked to be won. Thermal feed rising, systems officer Yaren reported. "They are transmitting power already. Our interior temperature is climbing." Warmth flowed through the frozen bulkheads like returning life. Ice crusts along the consoles began to melt. Crew who had been shaking uncontrollably slowly regained control of their hands. On the main display, the human commander continued issuing orders with steady precision. "Rescue grid pattern 7, she said. "Extend shield envelope to include the research vessel. Begin remote structural scan." Her crew answered instantly. No hesitation, no repeated confirmations, just execution. Ralvek muted the channel briefly and looked at his officers. "They are acting as if this rescue was planned," Trell whispered. "Military readiness," Ralvek replied. "They prepare for response, not reaction." "Commander," Yaren said quietly, radar signatures multiplying. "How many?" "Now reading 5. The bridge went silent again. Raid groups rarely traveled in 5s unless they expected profit or resistance. "Distance update," Ralvek ordered. 6 million kilometers and closing fast. They are not hiding their drive trails. They want to be seen. Predators announcing confidence. Ralvek reopened the channel to the human warship. "Human commander, additional hostile vessels detected. You are outnumbered." "We noticed," she said calmly. Her tone did not change even slightly. "You can still withdraw," Ralvek offered. "Your ship is faster. We will understand." The human commander studied him for half a second, not offended, simply measuring him. "Commander Ralvek," she said, "do your people abandon disabled ships?" "No, neither do we. But tactically," she interrupted gently, "we are already where we decided to be." That answer landed heavier than any threat. On the tactical overlay, the raider ship spread into a capture formation. Curved approach arcs designed to trap prey between overlapping weapon cones. "They are herding vectors," Trell said. "Classic slaver pattern." "Forward weapon ports opening," Yaren added. Ralvek felt the old fear return, but it did not spread to the bridge like before. The human ship's presence changed the emotional gravity of the room. "Incoming message," the human comm officer announced over open channel. Raider band broadcasting. Put it through, said the human commander. The screen split. A Raider captain appeared. Broad frame, scar-layered face, metal jaw implants. His bridge looked like a war cage. Exposed conduits, weapon racks, trophy bones. Human warship, the Raider growled. You are obstructing lawful claim salvage. The human commander leaned back slightly. Define lawful, she said. Disabled vessel. Unclaimed sector. Finders take cargo and crew. Denied, she replied. The Raider blinked once, surprised at the lack of negotiation. You stand alone, he said. We are 5. Your math is correct, she answered. You cannot protect them. We can, she said, long enough. That phrase confused him. It showed. Long enough for what? You'll see. The channel closed. Ralvek exhaled slowly. You provoked him. No, the human commander said. I clarified reality. On her bridge, lighting shifted again, deeper red. More stations came alive. Weapon system rings rotated into alignment across the warship hull. Commander, one of her officers reported, escort group still 20 minutes out. Escort group? Ralvek caught that instantly. You are not alone. Not for long, she confirmed. Then looked back to her crew. But we fight with what we have until then. How long must you hold? Ralvek asked. Engineers. A voice answered from her engineering deck. Research ship drive restart estimate. 3 hours minimum. Then 3 hours, she said. That's the clock. 3 hours against 5 Raider warships. It sounded impossible. Yet, no one on the human bridge reacted like it was. Damage control teams prepositioned. Drone racks armed. Interceptor grids deployed like metallic wings around the hull. Why are your shields still partially lowered? Ralvek asked. Because full shields block fine control power transfer, she replied. You need heat and air more than we need perfect armor. He had no response to that. Another alert tone cut across both bridges. Commander, Yaren said, Raiders launching probe missiles, scanning payloads. The human tactical officer smiled slightly. Permission to SWAT? Granted, the commander replied. Tiny defense drones burst from the human warship, dozens, then hundreds, forming a glittering sphere. The incoming missiles vanished in silent flashes before reaching midpoint. Ralvek stared. Those are autonomous interceptors. Yes, she said. Rescue doctrine requires layered defense. Rescue doctrine, he repeated softly. The Raiders changed formation. Faster now, less confident. Commander, Trell whispered. They expected an easy capture. They chose the wrong distress call, the human commander said. Then a new sensor spike appeared, behind the Raider formation. Yaren leaned forward sharply. Commander, more hyperspace ruptures forming. Ralvek's chest tightened. Additional Raiders? Scan resolved. IFF tags appeared. Human, not 1, not 2. An entire task group tearing into real space at combat velocity. The human commander allowed herself the smallest smile. Right on schedule, she said, and the balance of the battlefield flipped. The new arrivals did not drift into the system. They punched into it. Space itself rippled as multiple hyperspace fractures tore open behind the Raider formation. Controlled, synchronized, military-grade exits. No civilian pilot could execute entries that tight without shredding their own hull. For human warships emerged in perfect staggered alignment. Different classes, different silhouettes. Same design language, armored, functional, dangerous. Ralvek felt the bridge air change. Not warmer, heavier. Confirmed human signatures, Yaren said, voice unsteady. All combat rated. On the human flagship's channel. Comm voices overlapped with disciplined clarity. Escort wing actual to Resolute Dawn. We are on your beacon net. Vectoring to intercept grid. Target locks pending commander authorization. The Raider ships broke formation immediately. Predators recognizing a larger predator. The human commander, still composed, folded her hands once, then spoke. Escort wing. Defensive priority remains rescue vessel. We hold the inner ring. You control outer engagement. Acknowledgements fired back in under a second. No debate, no confusion. Ralvek muted his bridge microphones and whispered, "They train like a single organism." Trell nodded slowly. "Not a fleet, a mind." The raider captain forced a new channel open, clearly angrier now. "You brought reinforcements," he snarled. The human commander answered evenly. "We filed a situation report. Reinforcements came." "You escalate beyond salvage rights." "You escalated when you hunted distress signals," she replied. His jaw implants flexed. "Leave now and we forget your interference." "No, you risk war." "No," she corrected quietly. "You risk consequences." Channel closed. The raiders opened fire first. Heavy plasma spreads meant to overwhelm shields through saturation. The human response was instantaneous. Not louder, sharper. Human ships did not waste energy on wide barges. They fired surgical beams. Precision strikes that peeled weapon mounts off raider hulls like bark from a tree. Enemy port batteries disabled. One escort captain reported. Target 2 shield grid collapsed. Target 4 propulsion damaged. Ralvek stared. "They're disarming them." "Systematic dismantling," Yaren said. "They're not trading blows. They're solving a problem." The raiders adapted, switching to missile swarms. The human fleet shifted shape. Literally, moving into a layered sphere around the crippled research vessel. Interceptor drones formed overlapping defense curtains. Explosions bloomed harmlessly against the drone wall. None reached the inner ships. "Commander," the human tactical officer said, "raiders attempting flanking micro-jumps." "Predict exit nodes and pre-fire," she answered. "That's guesswork." "It's probability," she corrected. Human guns fired at empty space and hit ships that had not appeared yet. 3 raider vessels dropped out of micro-jump directly into converging beam fire. One lost an engine ring instantly. Another spun venting atmosphere. The third aborted jump in panic. Ralvek's crew began murmuring, fear transforming into awe. How are they predicting blind exits? Trell asked, "Pattern libraries." Ralvek said slowly, "They've fought this tactic before." "Many times," Yaren added. A sharp vibration rolled through the research vessel, but it was not impact. "Power transfer increasing," Yaren said. "The human flagship is feeding us more reactor output." Ralvek reopened the command channel. "You are diverting battle power to us." "Yes," the human commander said. "That weakens your shields." "Correct. That is tactically unsound. It is morally sound." He almost laughed, not from humor, from disbelief. "Engine restart progress?" She asked his engineering deck directly. Chief Specialist Marin answered breathlessly. "Drive lattice realignment at 30%. Your power feed is accelerating recovery beyond projections." "Good," the human commander said. "Keep climbing." Another explosion lit the battle space. Closer this time. One human escort took a direct plasma hit across its dorsal armor. "Damage report," she requested. "Superficial. We remain combat effective." No drama, just status. Then the tactical board shifted again. Yaren's voice dropped. "Commander, long range skin shows additional contacts." Ralvek stiffened. "More raiders?" "Unknown. Signatures masked." The human sensor officer spoke at the same moment. Multiple heavy mass entries forming, beyond raider tonnage. The human commander did not panic. She did not even raise her voice. "Fleet, Titan formation. Unknowns get 0 trust." The raider ships hesitated too, clearly not expecting new players. Hyperspace tore again. What emerged dwarfed everything already present. Not a raider vessel. Not human. Something else. Long hulls. Blade geometry. Black mirror armor. Silent. Watching. The raider captain's voice returned, and for the first time, it carried fear. "Withdraw." He ordered his ships privately, but human signal intelligence captured it and displayed the translation. Ralvek read it twice. "They're scared of the newcomers," Trell whispered. "Identification?" Ralvek asked. Human sensors answered first. The tactical officer looked up at his commander. Unknown war fleet, but weapon signatures match extinction-class platforms. Silence hit every bridge. The human commander finally leaned forward, not afraid, focused. "Well," she said quietly, "this just became a larger rescue operation. No one fired. Not the raiders. Not the humans. Not the newcomers." The battlefield froze in a three-sided standoff. The unknown fleet held perfect formation. 12 obsidian warships shaped like elongated blades, hulls reflecting no starlight, no engine flare, no shield shimmer. They sat in silence like machines that did not need to breathe. Ralvek felt instinctive dread, the deep, evolutionary kind. "Why are they not broadcasting?" Trell whispered. "Because they don't expect conversation," Ralvek replied. Human sensors worked rapidly across the shared tactical grid. "Spectral analysis complete," the human sensor chief reported. "Armor composition unknown. Absorbs active scan." "Weapon ports?" the commander asked. "Internalized. Hidden behind phase shutters," which meant ambush-grade design. The raider formation broke, discipline first. 2 raider ships attempted emergency jump escape. They never entered hyperspace. Thin black lines, almost invisible, lands from the unknown fleet. Not beams, not missiles. Space itself seemed to split along straight edges. Both raider ships separated into clean halves. No explosion, just structural division. Momentum carried the pieces apart. Crew still alive when it happened. The silent orbit bridge went dead quiet. Cutting weapons, Yaren breathed. At molecular sheer resolution, the human tactical officer spoke softly. "Gravitic filament cutters." Even he sounded impressed. The human commander opened a wide-channel broadcast. "Firm, official. Unknown fleet. You're operating weapons in an active rescue zone. Identify and declare intent." No answer. Instead, one of the black ships moved. Not forward, closer, without visible acceleration, like distance itself had been shortened. "Commander," the sensor officer said, "they're not using thrust." "Then what?" "Localized space translation. A physics violation or mastery." Ralvek swallowed. "Those are system killer platforms." The human commander didn't deny it. "Yes," she said quietly. "They are." Raider command channel erupted in panic chatter. No longer pretending strength. "We withdraw claim," the raider captain transmitted openly. "We abandon salvage. Sector is yours." One of the black ships rotated slightly. A raider vessel exploded, not from impact, but from internal collapse. Hull imploded into a bright sphere and vanished. No debris, no survivors. Message received. The human commander said, not to them, but to her fleet. They're enforcing dominance through demonstration. "Should we engage?" asked an escort captain. "Negative. Weapons hold." Ralvek turned sharply. "You're not going to stop them?" "We might not be able to," she answered calmly. "But we can control what happens next." She opened a directed tight beam transmission power spike command bandwidth, the kind only major military powers used. Unidentified extinction platforms. "This is Human Defense Authority Vessel Resolute Dawn. You are inside a protected rescue perimeter. Power down heavy weapons." Trell stared. "You're ordering them?" "Yes." "They outgun everyone here." "Yes." "Then why would they listen?" The commander's eyes stayed on the tactical display. "Because we've met before." Seconds passed. Nothing changed. Then, one by one, the black ships powered down their filament emitters. Not shields. Weapons. Bridge tension shifted from terror to stunned disbelief. "They acknowledge you," Ralvek said. "They acknowledge jurisdiction," she corrected. A reply finally came. Text only. No audio, no image. "Human authority recognized. Conflict zone logged. Predator scavengers removed. Observation continues." "Observation?" Trell echoed. "Yes," the commander said. "They're watching how we handle the rest." "Who are they?" "Ancient border enforcement constructs," she said. "Pre-alliance era. Autonomous. They erase expansionist threats." "Why obey humans?" "Because we fought them once," she said. and survived. That sentence landed like a hammer. Meanwhile, the remaining Raider ships tried to flee conventionally, engines burning hard. Human escorts disabled drives with clean precision shots, crippling, not destroying. Targets immobilized, escort wing reported. Boarding, Tactical asked. Negative, the commander replied. Mark them and broadcast their signatures to regional patrol nets. Let justice travel. She turned back to Ralvek. Engine status? Chief Marin answered from engineering. Drive lattice at 62%, ahead of curve. Your power feed is the only reason we're still alive. Keep pushing, she said. Ralvek studied her. You command fleets and system killers stand down. Yet you came personally for a distress call. Yes. Why? She answered without drama. Scale does not change duty. The Black Fleet shifted again, pulling farther back, but not leaving. Watching, measuring, judging. Commander, the human center officer added quietly, they are recording everything. Good, she said. Let them. A sudden spike hit the tactical board. Not from outside. From inside the crippled Raider flagship. Commander, Raider Core overload building. Tactical warned. Self-destruct. Ralvek asked. No, the human officer said. Chain detonation device. Area kill attempt. Blast radius would include the silent orbit and the human flagship. Time to detonation. For minutes, the human commander stood. New priority, she ordered. We finish this now. Detonation countdown confirmed, the human tactical officer said. Raider flagship, core, going critical. Yield estimate, multi-ship vaporization. A red sphere appeared on the tactical display. Blast radius expanding outward like a silent death bloom. It easily swallowed the crippled Raider ships. It also swallowed the silent orbit, and the human flagship holding position beside it. Time, the commander asked. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Ralvek felt the bridge air thin again, fear returning like vacuum. Disconnect from us, he said immediately over command channel. You still have time to escape. The human commander didn't even look up from her board. Negative. You cannot shield against that yield. Correct. Then leave. No. Frustration broke through his discipline. Human, this is irrational. She finally looked at him. Commander Ralvek, rescue is not conditional on convenience. Orders snapped across her bridge. Gravitic anchors deploy. Mass drivers stand by. Field tugs launch now. External cameras show dozens of compact human craft launching. Not fighters, not bombers. Machines built like armored insects with ring generators mounted forward. What are those? Trell asked. Vector control drones, Yaren said slowly. Heavy manipulation class. They're trying to push the Raider ship away, Ralvek realized. The tactical officer shook his head. No, too massive, not enough time. The human commander spoke clearly. We're not pushing it. Then what are you doing? Ralvek demanded. We're moving space. The drones reached the doomed Raider flagship and formed a three-dimensional lattice around it. Rings ignited, not bright, but distortive. Background stars bent. Ralvek grabbed his console edge. That's not a tractor field. No, Yaren whispered. It's localized metric shear. The human engineer's voice cut in. Commander, field envelope forming. We can displace one object up to 0.8 AU equivalent. Do it, she said. Cost will drain forward shields. Do it anyway. The Black Observer fleet shifted slightly, attention sharpening. Like predators watching another predator demonstrate capability. Countdown to 11. The Raider captain reappeared on emergency band. Screaming now. You cannot stop this. We take you with us. The human commander answered calmly. You're mistaken. Field drones locked. Space around the Raider flagship folded. Not visually, but conceptually. The ship seemed to duplicate, blur, then snap, and vanish. Not explode, not jump, disappear. A beat later the human sensor officer reported. Displaced target now located 0 Australian dollars and 90 cents Starwood inside solar corona. Silence. Then, Detonation occurred safely inside stellar mass. The bridge of the silent orbit erupted in stunned noise. Ralvek didn't join them. He just stared. "You threw a warship into a sun," he said quietly. "Yes." "You aimed it." "Yes." "You calculated that in under 3 minutes." "Yes." The human commander took a breath. First sign of exertion. Forward shields at 20%. Her tactical officer warned. Acceptable. The remaining crippled raiders transmitted surrender codes immediately. Not bravado anymore. Not negotiation. Surrender. Mark and release. She ordered. They limp home as witnesses. To what? Tactical asked. To better decision-making. Ralvek looked at the outer display. The black extinction fleet remained, unmoving, but now oriented toward the human ships. "Are they still judging?" he asked. "Yes," she said, "and updating their threat models." A new text pulse came from the silent black fleet. Human rescue doctrine verified. Power use controlled. Territorial claim none. Classification protector species. Trell read it twice. "They're labeling you." "They do that," the commander replied. "Is that good?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because the last species they labeled Predator Empire," she said quietly, "doesn't exist anymore." No one asked follow-up questions. Engineering called from the silent orbit. Drive lattice at 81%. Restart window approaching. Applause broke out across Ralvek's ship. Emotional release after prolonged fear. He opened a private channel to the human commander. "I misjudged your species," he said. "Most people start there," she answered gently. "You came without leverage, fought without demand, risked capital ships for strangers." "Yes." "That is not how power behaves." She shook her head slightly. "That is exactly how stable power behaves." Warning tone sounded again, but different. Internal this time. "Commander," her sensor officer said. "Long-range spike. Extreme mass signature entering outer system." Ralvek stiffened. "More extinction platforms?" "No," the human officer said slowly. "Bigger." "How big?" she asked. Pause. "Dreadnought scale human." She exhaled once, almost amused. Command finally noticed the fireworks. On the far edge of the system, a new hyperspace aperture opened, vast, controlled, sovereign. Something enormous was arriving, and every ship, human, alien, observer, made room for it. The hyperspace aperture did not tear open. It unfolded, like a door the size of a moon. No turbulence, no radiation burst, no shockwave, just controlled dimensional separation, the kind only top-tier navigation intelligences could sustain. Something vast moved behind it. Ralvek's breath caught as the silhouette emerged, layer by armored layer, until scale itself stopped making sense. "That is not a warship," Trell whispered. The human tactical officer answered calmly over shared channel. "Correction, that is a command dreadnought." The vessel eclipsed sensor brackets. Hull length alone exceeded the combined span of every ship currently in the battle space. Its structure was segmented into armored citadel blocks, each one independently shielded. Weapon arrays nested like mountain ranges. It did not look aggressive. It looked inevitable. "Identification?" Ralvek asked. The human flagship transmitted automatically. "HDA Strategic Command Dreadnought, Vigilant Resolve." Yarin's voice shook. "Its reactor output equals a small star." "2 small stars," the human engineer corrected absent-mindedly. The extinction fleet, the silent black blade ships, shifted formation again. They moved aside. Not tactically, respectfully. Ralvek noticed. They yielded position. "Yes," said the human commander. "They recognize command hierarchy." "You command them too?" "No," she said, "but they acknowledge outcomes." A priority channel opened, command authority level, overriding every frequency. A new human appeared on screen, older, composed, uniform marked with fleet command insignia. No theatrics, no raised voice. "Sector Commander Resolute Dawn," he said. "Situation summary received. You held rescue perimeter under multi-threat pressure." "Yes, sir," she replied simply. Casualties? None fatal. Moderate damage. Rescue target status? Ralvek realized it was being discussed like mission data, and oddly, it did not feel dehumanizing. It felt protected. She answered. Research vessel stabilized. Engine restart at 80+%. Good work, Command said. Then his eyes shifted slightly, acknowledging Ralvek's presence on shared channel. Alien Commander, you are safe under human rescue jurisdiction. No hostile claim will be honored in this zone. Ralvek inclined his head instinctively, acknowledged. No threats. Just fact. Black Fleet units present. Tactical Command continued. Classification unchanged. The Extinction Fleet transmitted a direct reply. Text only. Protector species confirmed. No erasure warrant. Command nodded once. Logged. Trell whispered. They're talking like weather systems agreeing. Because at this scale, Ralvek murmured, they are. The dreadnought did not rush forward. It positioned at system high anchor, a gravitationally dominant overwatch point, where every vector passed under its firing solutions. Why bring something that large? Ralvek asked quietly. The human commander answered, to make escalation mathematically pointless. Human escorts began rotating to refuel and repair under Dreadnought Shield Umbrella, a mobile fortress zone. Commander, Ralvek said, you could have waited for that ship before intervening. Yes. Why didn't you? Because you didn't have time. He had no counterargument. Engineering from a silent orbit broke in, drive lattice synchronized. We are ready for ignition trial. Cheers erupted again across the research ship. The human commander smiled slightly. We'll provide stabilization field. Start when ready. Ralvek hesitated, then asked what had been bothering him. Human commander, if we had nothing to offer, no resources, no alliance value, would you still have come? She answered without delay. We already did. Ignition sequence began. Energy rippled through the repaired engine lattice. For a moment, the crippled ship groaned like stressed metal, remembering purpose. Then drive glow returned. Steady, clean, alive. We have thrust, Marin reported, voice breaking with relief. We are mobile. Applause, laughter. Some crew openly crying now. Across the battle space, the Extinction Fleet transmitted one final message. Rescue event complete. Human claim honored. Withdrawing. One by one, the Black Blade ships folded space and vanished without wake. Ralvek felt their absence like pressure leaving the room. Command Dreadnought remained. Human Fleet remained. Protection remained. Human Strategic Command spoke again. Resolute Dawn, you may disengage rescue posture at your discretion. Negative, she replied. We escort them to safe vector. Command allowed the smallest approving smile. Of course you do. Channel closed. Ralvek looked out at the human formation, scarred ships, drained shields, repaired drones swarming, and understood something fundamental. Power was not what made them feared. Choice was. He opened a final private channel to the human commander. I will report this, he said. All of it. Good, she replied. No one will believe it. They will, she said calmly, because we'll answer the next distress call too. The battle was over, but the consequences were just beginning. Commander Ralvek expected the human fleet to depart once his ship proved mobile. Instead, formation tightened. Escort vessels repositioned into a layered corridor ahead of the silent orbit. Not defensive, now directive. You're still screening us, he said over command channel. Yes, the human commander replied, because the message hasn't finished traveling yet. What message? The one sent by everyone who watched. Ralvek frowned. The extinction platforms? And others, she said. Raid networks. Sensor relays. Black market observers. Conflict attracts witnesses. His science officer Trell pulled up passive scan logs and inhaled sharply. Commander, she's right. There are at least 40 remote sensor buoys online now. Hidden spectrum. Someone turned this entire incident into a broadcast. Ralvek felt a chill that had nothing to do with failing life support this time. We became an example. Yes, the human commander said. So now we finished the lesson properly. Ahead, the command Dreadnought Vigilant Resolve rotated slightly, a movement so slow it felt geological, yet every ship adjusted to it instantly, authority expressed through gravity and firepower both. A system-wide transmission began, not narrowband, not encrypted. Open doctrine broadcast. Human Strategic Command speaking to anyone listening. This is Human Defense Authority. The Command Admiral said, "Let this engagement be recorded without distortion." Ralvek muted his bridge noise, so every word carried clean. "Distress signals are not bait," the Admiral continued. "Disabled vessels are not salvage prey. Rescue zones declared by human forces are sovereign humanitarian space." Trell whispered, "He's redefining law by broadcast." "Yes," Ralvek said softly, "by enforcement capacity." The Admiral went on, "Any force attacking a declared rescue zone will be treated as an extinction-level aggressor regardless of flag, species, or claim. No anger, no theatrics, just policy backed by dreadnought guns." "Commander," Yaren said quietly, "Raider networks are reacting. Traffic spike, panic routing." "Good," Ralvek answered. A broken Raider ship, one previously disabled, attempted a desperate micro-jump anyway. Its drive flared unstable. Human escorts did not fire. The dreadnought did. One pinpoint beam, invisible until impact, touched the Raider engine ring. The drive shut down like a switched-off light. No explosion. Total negation. Trell stared. "They can cancel engines." "Field override spike," Yaren said. "They didn't destroy it. They revoked its physics." Ralvek almost laughed in disbelief. "Weaponized engineering." The human commander's voice returned on local channel. "Demonstrations reduce future casualties. You plan deterrence like scientists," Ralvek said. "We plan survival like parents," she replied. Engineering pinged again from below decks. "Commander, our drive efficiency is exceeding original specs. The human power regulators you integrated are self-optimizing." Ralvek opened the diagnostic himself and froze. "They didn't just repair us," he said slowly. "They upgraded us." "Yes," the human commander said. "Rescue doctrine includes resilience improvement. You improve ships you may never see again?" "Yes." "Why?" "So the next emergency is survivable without us." That answer hit deeper than the weapons had. Another transmission request appeared. Not human. Galactic Relay Authority, Neutral Network. "Human Command," the relay speaker said when accepted. "Multiple governments request clarification. Are you claiming territorial expansion under rescue doctrine?" Strategic Command replied instantly. "Negative. We claim responsibility, not territory. Define operational boundary. Any place where someone calls for help and we can reach them." Silence followed across the relay. Ralvek smiled faintly. "That is larger than most empires." "Yes," the human commander said. "And lighter." Trell looked puzzled. "Lighter? We don't have to own a place to protect someone in it." The relay voice returned, more cautious now. "Several powers protest enforcement scale." The Admiral answered. Several powers did not answer the distress call. Channel ended. No argument survived contrast like that. The human fleet began slow forward movement. Escort corridor guiding the silent orbit toward a safe jump vector. Repair drones still dance across scar holes, working while ships remain combat ready. Ralvek watched them, warriors who repaired while they guarded. "Commander," he asked quietly, "do your people ever ignore a distress signal?" "Yes," she said. He blinked. "You do." "When we cannot reach it in time." "Not unwilling. Unable. Important difference." Long-range sensors chimed again, but this time no threat, just departure markers. Raider networks withdrawing from entire sectors at once. Yaren highlighted the map. "Commander!" Pirate activity just dropped across 6 regions. Ralvek understood. "Fear propagation," he said. The human commander corrected gently. "Consequence propagation." He recorded that line immediately for his report. As the jump corridor aligned, He opened one last question that had been forming since first contact. "Human Commander, what is the name of your doctrine?" She answered without pause. Answering. That's it. That's it. The stars ahead stretched, jump window forming. Safety finally measurable. But Ralvek knew something now with scientific certainty. The most powerful force he had witnessed today was not the dreadnought, not the extinction fleet, not the weapons that edited physics. It was a civilization that treated help as automatic. The jump corridor shimmered ahead, a tunnel of stretched starlight and safe mathematics. Commander Ralvek should have felt only relief. Instead, he felt hesitation. "Vector stable. Navigation Officer Trell reported. We can jump on your mark." Across the formation, human escort ships held perfect alignment. Scarred hulls, patched armor, weapons still hot. They looked like veterans standing guard at a hospital door. "You are clear to depart," the human commander told him gently. "We will hold corridor integrity." Ralvek did not give the order. "Commander?" Trell asked quietly. "Delayed jump by 2 minutes." No one argued. They all understood, emotionally if not logically, that something important was happening. He opened a private channel to the human flagship. "I reviewed your power logs," he said. "You burned strategic reserves to save us." "Yes." "Your forward shield grid nearly collapsed." "Yes." "You would have been vulnerable if another hostile fleet arrived." "Yes." "Yet you stayed." "Yes." Ralvek exhaled slowly. "I am trying to understand the boundary condition." "The what?" "The line where you decide strangers are no longer worth the risk." The human commander leaned back slightly, thinking, not defensive, translating. "There isn't one," she said. "That is statistically impossible. It's culturally trained." He recorded that too. Behind them, the command dreadnought remained at high anchor, but its massive sensor crown rotated outward now, scanning deep space instead of the local zone. "Commander," Yaren said, "long-range sweep shows something odd." "Define odd." "Distress pings." Ralvek frowned. "From where?" "Multiple systems. Old ones, low power, probably ignored signals." Trell enhanced the map. Dots appeared, faint, scattered across nearby sectors. Abandoned calls. Unanswered beacons. Ghosts. Ralvek felt his throat tighten. "They were broadcasting while we were dying." "Yes," Yaren whispered. He switched to the human channel. "Your sensors must see them too." "We do," the commander said. "You cannot reach all of them." "No." "You cannot save all of them." "No." "Then why are your ships reorienting?" "Because they were escorts already peeling off in different directions, tasking vectors forming." "Because we can save some of them," she replied. "That will split your force." "Yes." "That reduces your deterrence posture." "Yes." "That increases your risk." "Yes." He almost laughed again, not disbelief now, recognition. "You optimize for lives saved, not safety margin." "Correct." Human Strategic Command reappeared briefly on Priority Net. "Rescue Fleet. Distributed response authorized. Corridor safety remains under dreadnought coverage. Go." No speeches. Just permission. Human ships accelerated, not as a fleet now, but as answers. Ralvek watched them scatter, like sparks from a forge. "You are turning a victory formation into a rescue network," he said softly. "We were always a rescue network," the commander answered. "Sometimes it just looks like a battle line first." Engineering called up from below. "Commander, human upgrades integrated into our core will cut our future failure probability by 40%. Document everything," Ralvek said, "every component." "We already are." He hesitated, then opened ship-wide channel. "This is Commander Ralvek. Record this in Mission Log Priority Alpha." The bridge quieted. "We entered dead space expecting silence. We found guardians." He did not look at anyone while he said it, especially not the human commander still on screen. "Mark that term precisely," he added. "Guardians defined by action, not claim." The human commander pretended to study her console, giving him dignity space. And he appreciated that. Jump window degrading, Trell warned. We must depart soon. Ralvek nodded, but still didn't give the order. Instead, he asked one final question. Human commander, if we had been your enemy last year, would you still have come? Yes. If we become your enemy next year? Yes. Why? Because distress is not allegiance. That line would enter textbooks. He knew instantly. On the tactical display, one of the faint distress dots winked out, replaced by a human responder tag. Then another. They're reaching them already, Yarin said. Of course they are, Ralvek replied. He finally straightened in his command chair. Navigation, execute jump. Stars stretched. Before the corridor took them, the human commander spoke once more. Commander Ralvek. Yes. Next time you see a distress signal. I will answer, he said. She smiled. That's how it spreads. The silent orbit entered the jump, not as a drifting coffin, but as a living ship carrying a new idea across the stars. And behind them, human warships kept turning toward the next unanswered call. The jump ended in light, not the violent flare of emergency translation, but smooth, guided emergence under beacon control. The silent orbit slid back into mapped space surrounded by relay satellites and traffic lanes. Civilization, signal density, safety. For the first time since the engine rupture, no one on the bridge checked the oxygen timer. They didn't need to. We are home corridor adjacent, Trell reported softly. Long-range comm grid restored. Open channels, Commander Ralvek ordered. Priority report to Science Council and Sector Authority. Channel congestion warning. Communications Officer Yarin said. Traffic volume extremely high. Because of us? Because of what followed us. She pushed the feed to the main display, across the civilian networks, across trade channels, across academic bands. The same visual repeated. Human warships answering distress calls. Different systems, different species. Same pattern. Arrive, stabilize, protect, repair, depart. The rescue broadcast from their battle had propagated farther than Ralvek imagined. Independent observers had verified it. Relay AIs had tagged it authentic. No rumor distortion survived multi-angle sensor truth. Trell leaned forward. Public sentiment indices are spiking. Toward fear? Ralvek asked. Toward trust. He let that sit. Incoming hail, Science Council direct. He accepted. Counselor Viral appeared, stern, ancient, famously skeptical. Commander Ralvek, she said without greeting. Your preliminary report is being disputed. By whom? Everyone who believed they understood humans. Then they should update their models, he replied calmly. You claim a human warship diverted combat power to life support transfer. Yes. You claim they engaged superior numbers to protect non-allies. Yes. You claim extinction-class autonomous fleets recognize their authority. Yes. She studied him for several seconds. Your biometrics show no deception, she said finally, but the implication is destabilizing. How so? If true, power alignment theory across 5 regions is wrong. Ralvek allowed himself a small smile. It is... Behind her, other council members argued in muted side windows. Data scrolled, clips replayed. Human ships throwing a detonating raider into a star repeated from 12 angles. Counselor Viral spoke again. Why help you specifically? We were nearest, Ralvek said. That was enough. That is not how strategic actors behave. No, he agreed. It is how responsible ones behave. Channel paused, then shifted to emergency governance band. Sector Authority entered the call. Commander, we are issuing new civilian guidance, the Authority Director said. Effective immediately. Distress signals are recommended, not discouraged. Trell actually laughed aloud, a short, disbelieving sound. For generations, their region had taught the opposite. Do not broadcast. Predators listen. What changed? Ralvek asked, though he knew. The director answered. Now Guardians listened too. Silence settled across the bridge. The good kind. The kind that marks historical moments. More feeds rolled in. A mining convoy saved from reactor cascade. Human engineers remote patched the containment field. A medical transport escorted through pirate territory. No shots fired. Pirates disengage on identification alone. A drifting habitat ring stabilized with emergency spin thrusters. Human tugcraft on site within minutes. They are turning reputation into infrastructure, Yaren whispered. Yes, Ralvek said, into expectation. A new message flag appeared. Human origin, low priority, personal channel. He opened it. The human commander. No battle lights now. No red alert glow. Just a normal bridge in cruise configuration. We see you made it back, she said. We did, he replied, because you did not leave. Status stable? More than stable. Changed. She smiled slightly. That happens. Your actions are rewriting policy across sectors. Good. No pride. No surprise. He shook his head in wonder. You knew this would ripple. Help always does. He hesitated, then asked, Does your command approve of the scale of intervention? She glanced off-screen briefly. Likely at a status board. They built the scale. On public nets, a new phrase was trending across multiple languages. Independently translated, but semantically identical. If humans hear you, you live. Trell highlighted it. Mimetic adoption curve is vertical. Because it matches evidence, Ralvek said. Counselor Vero returned to channel unexpectedly. Commander Ralvek, the council requests you lead first contact delegation to Human Defense Authority. He blinked. I am a survey commander. You are now a historical witness. He almost refused, instinct, then remembered a dark bridge, falling temperature, and a calm human voice asking about medical needs first. I accept, he said, after the channel closed. He reopened the private line to the human commander. It seems I will be seeing your people again, he said. Will answer, she replied. You always do. Not always first, she corrected gently, but always if we can. Outside the viewport, traffic moved normally, unaware they were living the first hours of a quieter galaxy. Ralvek recorded one final interim log before rest cycle. Today, fear lost authority over distress. He tagged it, verified. 3 weeks later, Commander Ralvek stood beneath a sky that actually had a sun. He had almost forgotten what natural light felt like. The Human Defense Authority reception complex was not built like a fortress. That surprised him first. No towering gun batteries. No intimidation architecture. It looked more like a university than a military citadel. Glass, steel, open walkways, moving people. Builders, not conquerors. You're staring, Trell murmured beside him. I am recalibrating, Ralvek replied quietly. Their delegation had arrived with full diplomatic protocol. Escorts, analysts, translators, all prepared for guarded tension. Instead, they were greeted by logistics staff offering hydration and thermal comfort adjustments. No one searched them twice. No one displayed dominance behavior. Confidence without theater. They really are like this, Trell said softly. It wasn't just a rescue crew. No, Ralvek agreed. It's systemic. A familiar voice called from across the landing hall. Commander Ralvek. He turned. The human commander, the same one from the warship, approached in standard duty uniform. No ceremonial armor, no medals on display. Calm as before. You made good time, she said. You made a lasting impact, he answered. They clasped forearms, a gesture invented spontaneously during the rescue, now already listed in 3 diplomatic etiquette updates. Welcome to Earth jurisdiction, she said. You're safe here. He smiled faintly. I know. They walked together through the complex. Screens along the corridor displayed live rescue operations. Dozens in progress, multi-species, multi-sector. You kept the tempo, he observed. We increased it, she corrected. After your incident, distressed traffic rose. Because people stopped hiding. Yes. They passed a situation wall showing a galaxy map lit with green markers, active rescue responses. Ralvek slowed. There are more green lights than conflict alerts. We're trying something new, she said. What? Prevention? He almost laughed. At galactic scale. Start where you are, she replied. Repeat. In the command briefing chamber, human strategic command waited, including the dreadnought admiral. In person, he seemed smaller, which somehow made his authority more impressive. Not less. Commander Ralvek, the admiral said, your report changed policy discussions in 12 governments. Your actions changed their data, Ralvek replied. The admiral inclined his head slightly. Fair. Diplomatic exchange followed, technical, legal, procedural, but respectful. No pressure, no leverage traps. Humans offered shared rescue protocols, open engineering standards for emergency systems, and most shocking, free access to distress relay encryption so smaller civilizations could not be spoofed by raiders. You are giving away advantage, one council analyst blurted. The admiral answered, we are giving away survival. Later, in a quieter observation lounge, Ralvek and the human commander stood overlooking orbital traffic, ships rising and falling like slow sparks. I reviewed your full fleet logs, he said. That sounds like a long week. It was. And you could have destroyed the raiders in the first exchange. Yes, you didn't. Destruction is louder than deterrence, she said, but it teaches less. He turned to her. There is something I must say, formally. Go ahead. When we were lost in deep space, we believed whoever answered our distress call would own us. She listened without interrupting. Instead, he continued, you protected us. Yes. You repaired us. Yes. You upgraded us. A small nod. Yes. You asked nothing. She shrugged lightly. You were already paying. With what? Trust. He let that settle, a precise emotional strike. Do you know, he said, what phrase is spreading in our education nets now? I can guess, she said. He shook his head. Say it. When you're ready. Ralvek looked out at the stars, no longer empty to him. We teach our cadets, if you are lost, send a signal. He turned back to her. The humans will answer. She didn't smile wide. She didn't celebrate. She simply said, we'll try. Alarm tone sounded softly in the lounge, not panic, notification. She checked her wrist display and exhaled. Another one, she said. Distress call, he asked. Yes. Far. Far enough. He already knew the rest, but he asked anyway, will you go? She was already turning toward the exit. Yes. No speech. No oath. No drama. Just movement. At the doorway, she paused and looked back once. Commander Ralvek. Next time you hear one? He answered without hesitation. I'd answer. She nodded, satisfied, and left a jog, already issuing orders into her comm band. Ralvek watched human ships lift toward the dark again, not hunting, but listening. And across the galaxy, more signals were being sent now. For the first time, without fear. Yendi,